Did you know that in just 1 week, a single region was rocked by over 2,000 earthquakes?
A single region was rocked
That's
by
not
over
a typo.
2,000 earthquakes?
Over 2,000 tremors, sending shockwaves not just through the ground, but through the lives of millions. This isn't the plot of a disaster movie. This is the reality of what just happened in the southern Philippines. What's causing this unprecedented seismic storm? Is it a warning of something bigger to come? Stick with me as we unravel the mystery behind this relentless earthquake swarm. The southern Philippines, a region known for its stunning natural beauty, has recently become the epicenter of one of the most intense earthquake swarms in recent memory. We're talking about a near-constant state of alert, with tremors happening so often that people have lost count. This isn't just a series of isolated quakes, it's a swarm, a relentless barrage that has put entire communities on edge. What makes this particular event so unusual, and why are seismologists watching it so closely? The answers might surprise you and could change the way you think about the ground beneath your feet. We're going to look at the science, the stories, and the unanswered questions that hang heavy in the air. The sheer number of these quakes is staggering. To give you some perspective, a typical day might see a handful of minor, often unfelt, tremors in a seismically active zone. But we're talking about hundreds per day. It began with a significant jolt, a quake strong enough to cause damage and widespread panic. But instead of the usual pattern of a main shock followed by diminishing aftershocks, something different happened. The shaking just didn't stop. A new main shock would hit, then another, each bringing its own series of aftershocks, creating a complex and overlapping sequence that has baffled even the experts. This constant shaking has transformed daily life into a nerve-wracking waiting game. What's truly exceptional and frankly terrifying about this swarm is its persistence and intensity. It's a seismic marathon, not a sprint, and the finish line is nowhere in sight. Why here? Why now? Let's get into it. Imagine trying to live your life when the very ground you stand on is constantly moving. For the residents of the southern Philippines, this is their new reality. The challenge isn't just about surviving the big quakes. It's the psychological toll of the thousands of smaller ones. Every creak of the house, every rattle of a window pane sends a jolt of adrenaline. Sleep is a luxury many can't afford, with families opting to stay in temporary shelters or even sleep outdoors, fearing their homes could collapse at any moment. The infrastructure is groaning under the strain. Roads have been cracked, bridges weakened, and buildings, even those that survived the initial strong quakes, are being systematically weakened by the endless shaking. This poses a massive problem for local authorities. How do you conduct damage assessments when the damage is ongoing? How do you ensure emergency services can reach people when access routes are compromised? There's also the very real fear of the big one. Is this swarm a precursor to a much larger, more devastating earthquake? This question hangs over every official briefing and every family conversation. It creates a challenge that goes beyond logistics. It's about managing public anxiety and preventing panic, while also preparing for a worst-case scenario that no one wants to imagine. The local government and disaster response teams are in a state of high alert, but even the most well-prepared agencies are being tested by the sheer relentlessness of this event. The resources are stretched thin, and the people are exhausted. It's a crisis in slow motion, an unfolding disaster where the next chapter is always unknown. So what is happening miles beneath the surface to cause such chaos? To understand this, we need a quick geology lesson. The Philippines is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a hotbed of tectonic activity where several major plates of the Earth's crust collide. Specifically, the southern Philippines is a complex jigsaw puzzle of smaller microplates and active fault lines, all being squeezed by the colossal force of the Philippine Sea Plate pushing against the Eurasian Plate. Think of it like a crowded room where people are constantly jostling for space. This constant pressure builds up stress in the rocks. When that stress is released suddenly, we get an earthquake. But an earthquake swarm is different. Instead of one major release of stress, we're seeing a series of smaller, cascading failures. It's like a line of dominoes, but instead of falling one by one, they're triggering each other in a chaotic, unpredictable sequence. What might have triggered this specific swarm? Seismologists are looking at a few possibilities. One leading theory is that a significant, deeper earthquake may have occurred on a major fault line, fundamentally changing the stress patterns across the entire region. This initial shift didn't release all the pressure. Instead, it transferred it to dozens of smaller, shallower faults, priming them to rupture. It's like striking a pane of glass. You get one major impact point, but a network of cracks spreads out in all directions. Another possibility involves something called a seismic slip, or a slow slip event, where faults move without generating a large earthquake. But in doing so, they load up adjacent segments of the fault, making them ripe for failure. This swarm might be the audible, violent expression of a much quieter, deeper process that has been unfolding for months or even years. The challenge for scientists is that they are trying to understand a dynamic, evolving system in real time. Each new tremor provides another piece of the puzzle, but it also changes the picture entirely. The data is pouring in, but the final answer remains just out of reach, buried deep within the Earth's crust. Nothing brings home the reality of this crisis more than the voices of those living through it. We've seen the shaky cell phone footage, the videos that capture the raw, unfiltered terror of the moment a powerful tremor hits. In one clip, you can hear the deep rumbling roar of the earth, a sound that precedes the violent shaking. Then, the camera pans wildly as people scream and run for cover. Shelves empty themselves, objects fly through the air, and the world outside the window seems to be liquid. But it's the moments after the shaking stops that are often the most haunting. The stunned silence, punctuated by crying, the anxious calls to check on loved ones. We spoke to one resident, Maria, who described the feeling. She said, "It doesn't feel real. You just cleaned up from the last one. You finally convinced the kids it's safe to come back inside, and then it starts again. The sound, it's the sound you never forget. It's a growl from the planet itself." Another eyewitness, a local shop owner named Ben, showed us security footage from his store. During one of the stronger quakes, his entire inventory of canned goods cascaded to the floor. "This is the third time I've had to clean this up," he told us. "But it's not the products I worry about. It's my family. Every time the ground shakes, my heart stops. We are just praying it ends soon." These personal stories, these moments of shared fear and resilience, paint a picture far more vivid than any seismograph reading. They show a community bound together by a shared ordeal, finding strength in each other while facing an invisible, unpredictable force of nature. The emotional toll is immense. It's the constant anxiety, the sleepless nights, the feeling of being powerless against the forces of nature. This is the human element of the swarm, a story of survival, fear, and the unshakable hope that tomorrow, the ground will finally be still. So, what have we learned? This extraordinary earthquake swarm in the southern Philippines is not just a random series of events. It is a complex, dynamic geological process unfolding in one of the most seismically active regions on Earth. We've seen how the unique tectonic setting creates the perfect conditions for such a crisis. We've explored the immense challenges faced by residents and authorities. From damaged infrastructure to the profound psychological impact of living under constant threat. And most importantly, we've heard the human stories of fear and resilience that lie at the heart of this event. This swarm is a powerful, terrifying reminder that the planet we live on is a living, breathing entity. Understanding these events is not just an academic exercise, it's crucial for survival. It underscores the absolute necessity of preparedness, of building resilient communities, and of heeding the warnings that the Earth gives us. The story is far from over, and scientists will be studying this swarm for years to come, hoping to unlock secrets that could help predict or mitigate the impact of future events. What are your thoughts on this? Have you ever experienced an earthquake or a swarm like this? Share your stories and insights in the comments below. We read everyone. And if you want to be better prepared, click here to watch our video on creating an effective earthquake emergency kit. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe. Don't forget to follow for more deep dives into the events shaping our world.